Hey guys, just finished watching Luke Cage Season 2, Episode 3, 4, and 5. Definitely is an interesting season going into this. Now, this season so far for Luke Cage, I'm really not getting into it. I find it's not as good as the first season so far. It's really a slow burn. It feels like they're retreading some of the same stuff from the first season. Nothing seems very new to me, and it just seems kind of it's cool seeing Luke doing his stuff. But the first season, he was running into the deep stuff, and he was seeing and getting bullets bouncing off him. Now seeing just a regular little handgun bounce off of him is not really that interesting, and it seems like they were doing the stakes were a little bit more higher for it. So let's jump into this. We have episode 3. Luke calls Claire after he almost killed Cockroach. Misty ends up letting him go, and then Misty gets in trouble for letting him go with her captain. Misty goes to see and train with Colleen. That's what's really cool, seeing her in this episode. That was really cool, setting that up for that comic book team up, which in the comic books they end up doing some stuff, so that would be cool setting them up if they ever got a spin-off show, and that would be cool seeing them. But I just don't see how, so far, with her so connected to Luke, how she wouldn't, any problems she wouldn't just call up Luke. So I think it's going to be cool to see if we get anything with that. Colleen says that Danny's been trying to get a hold of her, so that was really cool with that. Obviously, we know that that's setting up for the arm. And Claire goes to talk to James Lucas in his church and stuff, so that was cool there, checking all that out. Luke ends up finding Bushmaster, and he gets sent. Luke gets sent sends the bullets back to the shooter and stuff. So that was a really cool idea. Like, he's getting shot at, and then one of the bullets ricochets off, and he kind of just flicks, and it kind of bounces back. It hits the shooter who shot the bullet. That was a really cool idea. I get that. That was an interesting idea to playing with that. And then they toss him a grenade, and he just kind of holds it in his hands, and that was really cool watching that. Misty and Colleen Wing team up and beat up a bunch of guys in a bar. That was really cool seeing that. It was really interesting. Those moments were cool moments on their own. Like, it was cool seeing watching it. It's just not enough in these episodes to really not enough action going on, too much drama, too much talking, and just I want to see Luke Cage beat the crap out of things, and I want something different than just him going up against a bunch of guys with guns and stuff. And even didn't interest me these few episodes. Nothing meaty into it, nothing really deep getting into it, and cool, awesome fight scenes as much as season 1. So I much prefer season 1 way over this. And Claire is mad at Luke for beating up Cockroach and kind of liking it, letting his anger get out and going crazy, and just kind of not being able to control his anger. And that's when he kind of punches a hole in the wall and scaring Claire, and that's when they kind of break up for a little while. Now they're kind of separating, and she goes off and lives and leaves for a little bit, and that's when we see him walking around the street, and he gets knocked out, punched down, and he's punched in the face by Bushmaster. And interesting idea, playing with this idea of him and Claire breaking up. Hopefully this can be maybe set up in the whole Luke Cage and Jessica Jones storyline, because having them around, having him and Jessica Jones season 1 was really cool seeing that. It was really cool seeing the different stuff now that he's stronger and stuff. I think that's really going to be interesting to see that, and building up some more things going on for this, because so far, like Jessica Jones season 2 and Luke Cage season 2, so far I really don't like them too much. I prefer their first seasons. They really hit it off with their first seasons, and they're just not as good as these seasons so far. It's not as good as season 1 for Luke Cage. So I don't know. It's really going to be cool to see where things go with this, where things continue on. Hopefully we get to see Danny at some point, because so far we're at episode 5 and still no Danny Rand, which is kind of annoying, because they announced way before they even started filming it that he was going to be in here. So I figured, okay, he's going to be in so many episodes, they don't want to hide the fact that he's back. Just like with Kilgrave, as soon as they started filming Jessica Jones season 2, they announced that he was going to be in there, so they didn't have to hide it on set. And it's like, he's only in a little bit for the season. Keep it a secret and let the little bit come out, because when they reveal it publicly, a lot of people figure, oh, they're revealing it publicly, so it's not going to be a big reveal, so we're not going to wait for that. But if they keep it as just set photos, and the set photos come out that he's going to be in there, it really doesn't always get out that way, because only people who go digging for the set photos, who look at set photos and willing to look at them knowing that they're going to be spoilery, don't care about the fact that it's going to spoil or that Danny Rand's going to be in Luke Cage season 2. So I wouldn't have, if I was Marvel, I would not have let this out, that Danny is part of this. I would have kept that a secret as much as possible, and the few people who find out with set photos and stuff, they went looking for that. They're not caring about spoilers or anything like that. I think that's the way I would have played it off for this part, because it doesn't look like Danny's going to be in anytime soon. So I'll have to wait and see where he pops up. Hopefully, maybe it's just him setting up for Iron Fist season 2. But having Colleen Wing in here is pretty cool, and that was really nice seeing that in here. And then for episode 4, we titled "I Get Physical." Bushmaster, we see the fight, all the fight between Bushmaster and Luke, and he ends up knocking Luke out for a little bit. And Misty and Luke end up finding Neil Garrison's body without a head, so that was really cool. So that was the guy that Bushmaster actually beheaded and stuff. They found the head there and just in the warehouse. Tilda Johnson is actually Nightshade, so Tilda Johnson is Mariah Dillard's daughter. She's Nightshade in the comic books, and she actually wears some sort of kind of like full body suit, so that's going to be cool to see where she kind of things change for here. She's also called Nighthawk in the comic books, and so that's going to be cool to see where things go. She's also called Deadly Nightshade and Dr. Nightshade and Nightshade stuff. She's actually kind of a villain that's gone around and done some stuff. She's worked with Misty Knight before, taken down S.H.I.E.L.D. She actually was took down Captain America and S.H.I.E.L.D. at one point in the like the 70s when she was around. So I think her first she first appeared in Captain America 164 in August of 1973. So she's been around for a little bit, and it's really going to be cool to see where things go with her. Especially as they're building her up on Luke Cage as Mariah Dillard's daughter and stuff. Is she going to be Is she going to be a good guy? Is she going to be a bad guy? Where things are going to go with this? I think it's going to be fun to see where things go with this and how, it seems like in the comic book she's been mostly a bad guy. A little bit of good stuff when she's been on like Hero for Hire and stuff, so she's willing to do good for a price. So it's going to be cool to see what they're doing with that in the comic books and how they're going to change it for here, because it seems like in here she's been so much of a good person, having the holistic stuff, not wanting to work for her mother for blood money or anything like that. So I think that's really going to be cool to see where things go with that, and if they turn Nightshade into a good guy or good person, I think that's going to be an interesting idea to play with that. But I kind of would like to see it as a little bit more of a bad guy, but at the same time, I'm kind of getting sick and tired of Mariah Dillard, since it's just kind of the same thing over and over and over again with her, and it's just kind of not going anywhere. She doesn't feel as powerful as Cottonmouth or even as Diamondback was in the first season of Luke Cage, so we'll see if Tilda Johnson can be a little bit different here. If they give her powers, it looks like she's using the herbs or stuff, and which is kind of a bit silly to give someone getting powers over that. I could see it, healing her and all that stuff, but really getting powers out from it, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see where things go with her. Luke gets up and goes to see Tilda, and talk about Bushman when he finds her name of her shop at his place where they find the headless body of Neil Garson. And then Comanche is an informant. We see that Comanche is an informant for Captain Red Hood. So that was interesting with that. Comanche is actually the right-hand man to Shades, the one who's kind of questioning him this whole time in his relationship with Mariah. So that's interesting with that, to see where that's going to go. Is that going to get the captain kind of in trouble? I feel like that you can get him killed, and then maybe the captain's going to get killed throughout that. So that'll be cool to see where things go with that and how things affect Misty and her job now that she has with that connection there. And then we see Misty gets a letter from Danny on her desk. Obviously, it's the blueprints for her arm. And that's in, we get Luke Cage gets summoned for, gets a summons that he's going to be sued by Cockroach. And then when we open up episode 5, all sold out. We see that Foggy's his lawyer, which is pretty awesome from Defenders. He was set up in there. They set him up as his lawyer. That was interesting like that. And Luke ends up breaking the table. And that's when Foggy says you should probably wear a mask when you're fighting crime. So that's really an interesting idea with that. I like that idea. I like that joke there. So that was really cool. Misty gets her arm from Danny, and we get to see her using that. That was really cool. She's testing it out so far. I'm glad she's finally setting that up. Hopefully she can learn to use it as things go on. And then we see that Piranha wants to hire Luke. Piranha was the guy who convinced Mariah Dillard to invest into the plastic company and blackmail the guy, so to make sure that she could invest for a couple of $20 million and then be worth billions of dollars later on. And then Mariah tell the truth behind the money and then where it all came from. So that would be cool to see if she decides to kind of, even though she knows the truth behind it, she decides to go with it anyways. Is the good that she could do with it going to be worthwhile, worth the pain type thing, that the guns and all that stuff, compromising herself, and how is that going to work out? Or is this whole season going to turn her into a villain by the end of the season? That could be cool seeing that too. Misty plans to frame Cockroach by planting the Judas bullet. She took it from evidence, as she remembered Scarf mentioning in a joking manner type thing, but she finds his headless body. So that'd be cool to see how she ends up explaining her way into that, because she didn't break in the door, didn't do anything. She picked the lock to get in, so that kind of is a little bit weird as to how she's going to explain to do that, get an explanation for that. Especially with so many questions and she being found in so many different situations like this. That would be cool to see that. I mean, obviously, I don't think anyone's going to blame her for, decapitating that, because she would do that. It makes no sense. But I mean, the idea that it's going to be interesting to see where things go with that. And then Mariah ends up opening her doors to her new facilities and stuff, and that's when she sees like a bunch of heads on the spikes. I guess that's Bushmaster who left that for her, so that the press can take all the photos of that. That'll be cool to see how that ends with that situation. How long is that going to affect her? And then Piranha ends up hiring Luke Cage as his bodyguard when at the party, a bunch of guys try to kill him, and Luke ends up stopping and saving him. And that's when he doubles his money, so he's going to make $300,000 just for being a bodyguard for hire. That's going to be cool to see how that plays on for the rest of the season. With now we're setting up more of a heroes for hire idea in this show. I think it's going to be cool to see where things go with this and see where Danny comes involved, or if Danny's not only going to be in a few episodes. We'll see. Hopefully he is as Iron Fist, not just as Danny Rand type thing. But we'll see where things go with all this. So I'm okay to see where things go with this. It feels like a slow burn for this season, a lot more than last season. Not enough action going on, and the action is just not big enough. Seeing a couple of guys shoot some machine guns and shoot some handguns at him, not really that interesting. Whereas in the first season, he was getting rocket launchered, he was getting shot at, and it was cool. The first time to see him do that, he was going up against 10, 20 guys. When he walked in he ripped the car door and beat everyone, and then took the couch in that first or second episode of season 1 and just beat everyone and threw the couch out the windows. And that was all really cool here, and it was cool seeing different things like the grenade, him holding the grenade and stuff. That was a cool thing, but it's just a cool little blip in the moment. The rest is just sitting there, just boring, just kind of just watching this. It's really not that interesting. I think they needed a bigger villain for this show. It's just repeating the guns and stuff and the gangs versus him. It's just getting a bit boring, and we've seen the guns and the gangs and stuff on Daredevil and things like that. We've seen it all before. It's nothing really new. So it would be cool to see a different take on that, to see where things go with this. I'm really hoping that Iron Fist season 2 can also mix it up from the first season, since that really didn't really work out the first season so much. And Jessica Jones season 2 was not as good as season 1. It was not nearly as close as season 1. So we'll see where things go with this. I'm definitely not going to stop watching it. I mean, I pretty much a completionist to this. Even finished. I don't think I finished reviewing it, but I did finish watching the Inhumans, which was terrible. It's nowhere near Inhumans. Probably not as bad as Iron Fist, but it's kind of close. So it's, I guess I would prefer, if I had to rewatch Inhumans or this, I definitely would pick this over Inhumans. But so far, it's just I'm not really liking it. Not enough action, and I want to see more superhero, more comic bookness, more the stuff that works in the movies, that work so well. The amazingness and the things that just like going. I mean, you have you have these, I know the shows are all set in so much realism and stuff, but it's just kind of the same stories over and over again, kind of like Flash reusing another speedster. So yeah, hopefully for season 3 of Luke Cage, if it gets one, which I'm pretty sure it will, we can get a completely different villain and someone that's, you know, comic book accurate, comic book silliness. Really, I don't care if they have to go deep down in the barrels of the comic books, but no more gangsters, no more gangs, no more things like that. And just change it up and give him an actual villain, you know, that's difficult to defeat and see where things go with that. Like, hopefully for Daredevil season 3, if I'm not mistaken, they did cast, hopefully they can actually bring someone like like Bullseye in there, so it's different than someone who is just a another hitman, another this or that. So we'll see where things go with this and see how things change with Bushmaster. Maybe he's, you know, looks like he did some stuff, so hopefully he's kind of improving himself, making himself more stronger. But even then, it feels like it's building up to another, you know, Luke Cage on Luke Cage fight, with just like it was with Diamondback when he put on that suit. So we'll see where things going with that. Bushmaster's getting kind of interesting. Hopefully he ends up killing Mariah Dillard in this and Shades, because I'm getting annoyed at those two. They're just kind of the same thing over and over again. They're really not that interesting at all anymore. So we'll see where things go with this. But it would be cool to see, you know, maybe Tilda ends up taking out Mariah Dillard. Who knows? That could be cool. But we'll have to wait and see where things go with this. But so far, I'm really just not interested in this show at all. So we'll see where things go. Really not as excited as I was, remember, for Daredevil season 1 and season 2, Defenders. So hopefully they can bring up the game with this, because it feels like they're slacking off, especially after Jessica Jones. And even Defenders was good, but I haven't rewatched Defenders. I've watched Daredevil season 1 and season 2 so many times over and over again, but I'm just not finding myself rewatching Defenders that easily as much as I am of Daredevil season 1 and 2. So, and even Luke Cage season 1, but for this, it's not going to be one of those things I'm going to be rewatching too much. Unless I have some free time, or, you know, sick in bed for a long time. There's just, you know, but this is just not one of those shows I'm going to be this season, really. So we'll see where things go with this from here. Hopefully it can improve from here. So let me know what you think, guys, about these episodes. Comment below. Season 3 to episode 5, season 2 episode 3 to 5, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.
I'm Captain America, here to talk to you about one of the most valuable traits a soldier or student can have.
Subscribing.
Sometimes subscribing is the key to victory. Sometimes it leads to very little, and it seems like it's not worth it. And you wonder why you waited so long for something so disappointing. How many more of these?
You're still here.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, guys. Peace.
It's over.